Vail Resort is the largest resort in Colorado with a name and reputation known throughout the world. The elevation is a little lower than the resorts closer to Denver and receives about 354 inches snowfall each year. Vail has a few areas with nice, gentle green trails for beginner skiers and some amazingly long cat tracks for them to wind their way back to the base. However, Vail is a playground for intermediate and advanced skiers with its solid mix of blue and black trails.
The marketing team talk up their legendary bowls, but in reality, the sheer size and consistency of terrain is what makes this resort stand out. The resort has multiple lifts from the town of Vail that can be busy early morning, but the crowds quickly disperse across the resort. Vail is a resort town with plenty of accommodation, albeit mostly aimed for those with deep pockets. The village facilities, excellent lift service, and huge amount of terrain that is well maintained and clearly signposted make Vail a fantastic resort to ski and one of the best in North America.
Getting to Vail from Denver International Airport is relatively easy using car hire or airport shuttle to and from your accommodation. It is on I-70 after Vail Pass and Eisenhower Tunnel, a little over 2 hours from Denver. For road conditions, check CDOT. If you're staying in town, the free shuttle bus will get you to and from the mountain. There are plenty of paid parking lots conveniently located near the lifts, but the free parking is very limited. The car is not needed if you're staying in town.
Vail is a resort town that has grown with the resort, squeezed between the mountains and I-70 on both sides of the interstate. Generally getting around is easy, but traffic congestion can be an issue at times depending on holidays or weather. As a rather large town, there are plenty of shopping and entertainment options, even medical facilities, which hopefully won't be needed during your visit.
The Vail Village has a European feel with pedestrian malls, shops, and accommodation. The Museum of Skiing is located this side of town and is definitely worth a look. Lionshead Vail Square is the newer, more modern side of town and a little closer to the supermarkets. The children's skiing centres are located at Golden Peak and Lionshead Vail Square. Lockers and ticket offices are located at the main base areas, except Cascade Village.
There are plenty of on-mountain food options. Rocky's Roadhouse has great value Cinnabons while stocks last, while the Two Elk Biergarten takes the European feel to the top of the mountain and could make the journey back down a little more tricky. You can take packed lunches to eat at the larger food areas, but check the map as not all venues allow brown bagging.
Let's get to the skiing. Vail has a lot of terrain for intermediate and advanced skiers. For the beginner, the Gopher Hill and River Barn lifts provide some gentle greens and blues. For the more confident beginner, the Sourdough and Mountaintop Express deliver some longer and more challenging greens and blues. There are green trails looping around and linking most of the front side, giving beginner skiers plenty of opportunity to adventure across the mountain.
For young kids, there are adventure zones all over the front side of the resort. Most are located next to the Ledges Trail. Warm up with the trail off the Eagle Barn down to the Avanti Express before searching out the kids' adventure zones.
For the intermediate skier, the Pride and Game Creek Express offers some great blues. Check out Pride and Dealer's Choice. Lodgepole, Avanti, and the other trails off of Avanti Express are a good option to step up to blacks, which are sometimes groomed. On the backside, the bowl trails, poppy fields, and the slot are worth a look. The longer trails are off of Eagle Barn, with Born Free and Simba taking you all the way to the base. There are a couple of terrain parks near Avanti Express, but the main area of the park features is off of River Barn, away from the general ski traffic.
Vail has some great long bump trails and heaps of bowl skiing on the back bowls, which their brochures will remind you about. There's also plenty of tree skiing for the advanced skier all across the resort. The bowls are generally south-facing, so are likely to be more impacted by spring conditions. Unfortunately, we were not able to ski Blue Sky Basin, but the aspect should provide for good snow conditions if the bowls are a bit sun-baked.
There is limited extreme terrain at Vail, with some trails like Prima probably being double black due to the length rather than the pitch. In our opinion, the start of Genghis Khan is probably steeper than any portion of Prima. That being said, Vail has some beautiful long black trails with consistent pitches making for some of the most enjoyable advanced skiing we've experienced.
The crowds certainly chase glory or read the marketing material, as everyone heads to the back bowls. But we were able to find freshies 3 days after a storm on frontside trails like South Rim. On a busy day, we avoided the crowds rinsing trails off of the Highline Express. The valleys on the front and backside of Vail, plus the aspect of Blue Sky Basin and Game Creek Bowl, provide opportunities for advanced skiers to have fun even when the weather sets in.
The Golden Peak T-Bar, if operating, provides a surprise alternative when the upper mountain is a whiteout. Don't overlook the North Woods Express, which provides access to some great terrain and as a six-seater keeps the queues moving. Vail is not a mountain known for its terrain parks. It's a fantastic resort for long, wide, rolling trails and bowls.
A few things to be aware of for Vail Resort. There are snowmaking facilities on the main blue and green trails, ensuring snow for beginner and intermediate skiers. The lifts servicing the upper mountain are exposed and can be impacted by wind and snow, limiting access to the whole mountain. If the weather gets ugly, look for lifts servicing mid-mountain areas, and you should be able to keep skiing, avoiding the worst of the weather.
The backside bowls are south-facing, so can be sunbaked in spring. Both the backside bowls and Blue Sky Basin can be closed following storm events while patrol evaluates conditions. Blue Sky Basin was not open over the 10 days during our visit in mid-January. The traverse over the bridge below Orient Express to Skyline Express can be a bit tricky for a snowboard if you can't maintain your speed.
Also worth noting, the lifts serving the back bowls open later and close earlier and are the last to open after a storm. Weekends and powder days will have crowds up from Denver, but not quite as much as the resorts closer to town. There are often social media posts about the lift queues at Vail, but these tend to be at pinch points and specific times. With such a large resort, it's easy to move on and find quieter parts of the mountain.
The traffic back to Denver on Sunday afternoon can be a parking lot down I-70, so consider this when planning your trip. As a high-altitude Colorado resort, if you're coming from sea level, take it easy on the first few days. Drink loads of water, manage your energy levels. The lack of oxygen is taxing on the body. Keeping some reserve for the final long return to the base, or be sensible and ride one of the gondolas down.
The town of Vail is a decent size with lots of accommodation options on or near the mountain for those seeking the ski-in, ski-out experience, and plenty of shops and restaurants. The town is stretched along both sides of the interstate and is well serviced by the resort bus for those staying a little further away.
For that European ski village feeling, we'd recommend staying around the Vail Village area. There are heli skiing, snowmobile, tubing, skating, and other fun activities for the family.
In our opinion, Vail Resort is one of the best all-round resorts in North America, with fantastic lift service and phenomenal intermediate and advanced terrain. It might hit the hip pocket, but you get what you pay for at Vail.